So I saw this video of this popular hair vendor who is quite familiar to me. I remember that I've bought hair from her. I think when she was in Port Harcourt a long time ago. I think I've bought hair from her. And as you saw in that video, you could tell that she was beaten up by her husband, and in fact she's just a victim of domestic violence. And what actually caught my attention in that video was the fact that she kept on repeating that she has told her husband and her husband people that she's no longer interested in the marriage and that she wants a divorce, but they refused. And this brings me to the essence of today's video. I just hope that somebody shares this video with her or with anyone that is facing domestic violence at this time, and you are scared of ending your marriage because your spouse has refused to give consent. Look, upon an application for dissolution of marriage, the consent of any of the parties is not a ground for the court to dissolve any marriage in Nigeria. Let me take it again. You don't need the consent of your spouse or anybody to apply for your marriage to be dissolved. In the first place, proof that you have been abused domestically is sufficient ground for the court to consider that marriage as having broken down irretrievably and bring that marriage to an end, whether the other party consents to it or not. So I am also informed that a lot of people are asking for consent before they apply to dissolve their marriage because of a lot of narratives that are out there from so many Nollywood movies. I don't know about other countries, so probably you could sign on a document to bring a marriage to an end in other countries. But in Nigeria, I have practiced as a legal practitioner for over 10 years, and I did my master's in family law, and I have also been a family lawyer for close to 10 years now. And from experience and my study of family law, the law provides that for a marriage to be considered for dissolution, that marriage must have broken down irretrievably. The law did not say that you must get consent from any of the spouses, or a party should get consent from the other party to dissolve. So these things we see in Nollywood movies where they bring a paper and say sign this divorce paper, it doesn't happen in real life. As in, it's just the movies, please. So if you are still waiting and suffering in that marriage because your spouse has not consented to divorce, please, I'm sure with this video you are now informed that you can approach the court through a legal practitioner to file your action for dissolution of marriage on the ground that that marriage has broken down. And then by section 15 sub 3 says that if you can prove that the other partner or your partner has acted in such a way that you can no longer live with them, and in acting in such a way, domestic violence is one of them. If you can prove that living with him is endangering your life, the court does not need his consent to dissolve the marriage. The court will just need your proof of that and probably hear from him and dissolve the marriage. Now, when I mean hear from him is just following the due process of the law, because both parties must be heard in court. So the court is not hearing from him because whatever he says will now determine whether you should live with him or not. The law does not impose any spouse on the other. Let me take it again. The law, our Matrimonial Causes Act, does not impose any spouse on the other. The moment you say that you can no longer live with this spouse, this is what has been happening, these are proofs that my marriage has broken down irretrievably, the court will be left with no other choice but to bring that marriage to an end, to dissolve the marriage by granting an order nisi. Now, I'm going to attach a video to this a previous video I've made to this video so that you can watch. I did in that video 5 rebuttable myths about dissolution of marriage in Nigeria. I think you should look at that video so that it will get you informed as to proper decisions to make. Please let us stop staying in abusive marriages. You can either apply for judicial separation or you apply for dissolution. You don't need the consent of your partner to apply for dissolution of marriage. You don't need the consent of your partner to apply that your marriage be dissolved if that marriage has broken down irretrievably. I hope this helps. And please, if you can get this video across to her, please, my advice to you, Mrs. Okereke, is to get a lawyer and file an action for the dissolution of your marriage. In that action, you can bring application for the custody of your children. You can also bring application for the settlement of property. That's when you can now claim that's your house and the property. And when the court now gives judgment, the court will now make orders as to settlement of property, maintenance of you and your children, and then custody of your children in the same application. Please, let us try not to stay in abusive marriages because we are looking for the consent of the other party to take the right step. Let us get a lawyer, approach the court, take the right steps and save your life now. I hope this helps and I hope this gets to everyone, especially any woman that is going through domestic violence at this time. Thank you very much and enjoy the rest of your day.